Welcome, it's O1, aka O1 Eka. I'm just making these direct to camera videos, whether anyone watches them or not, just to talk about what it's like being an independent artist in Melbourne, Australia, particularly as I work on my incoming album, Contra. I'm planning the release. It's all going to be very kind of big and visual and often metaphoric and stuff. So as I'm going through the process, I wanted to make these short recap videos of where I'm at so that I can look back on them for myself and for other people who are interested in what as well. They can see the process as it happens. I've just come back from South by Southwest in Sydney, and I learnt a lot there. I found out that Jimmy Nice, an artist from Sydney, was performing there, who's going to be on the album, and so it just piqued my interest, and then I realised, oh shit, South by Southwest is happening. Why am I not going? What am I doing with my life? And zoomed all the way out and had this kind of emotional response to it where I was like, this is an example of something I need to go to. So bought a $900 ticket, flew out there, stayed with a cousin who I'd never met before and like slept on his floor. And, all the other stuff went out the window. Like I wasn't flipping cars. I wasn't training. I wasn't like eating great. I wasn't doing anything else but like talking about my album to people. And it made me realize like, oh shit, I need to really know what I'm talking about here, because I was going into rooms with like music industry professional people and then handing them a demo of my album and being like, hey, I want you to distribute it for me. And they'd be like, cool, why? And I got to know. So it really humbled me. Like I learned a lot. I remember the first interaction I had was with a woman who is kind of working like in and around indie music, Triple J kind of thing. And I thought, fuck it, let's just try and get a meeting. So like I waited in line to get this meeting, and I'd printed out these little tiny CDs with the, like, a demo kind of cover, and you could tap your phone on it and it would give you my songs and my press kit. Anyway, I sit down with her and I spent like 25 minutes basically just having a yarn. I could see in her eyes she was kind of waiting for the meeting to be over. She's kind of looking up and around, and I was like, oh shit, I haven't done my pitch yet. So I was like, oh, by the way, I want you to distribute my music. And I like handed her the thing. She's like, oh, cool. And I'm like, yeah, only if you feel like it. Oh, okay, cool, see you later. And then I was like, all right, I made a note to myself, like, I've got to be more forward. That interaction felt soft and it felt wishy-washy, and like, I want to feel more confident, like I've come here to do this thing. I want that to be what I'm offering, you know what I mean? Like I want a connection, but I'm not here to build a relationship as much as I am here to find distribution for my music. So let's fucking go. So then I was like, all right, cool. I applied to the, like literally like the ground level of this distribution company here in Melbourne for the album, because I've been wanting like help. I've been wanting like someone who knows what they're doing, I can talk to about these ideas, who can help me crystallize them and put them into a box, because discipline brings freedom. So it's like I needed that a boundary. I thought this people up here or distributors in general would be able to help me with that. Anyway, I go to the fucking CEO of a place that I've applied here in Melbourne, and I stop him and I have 5 seconds with him, and I was like, boop, 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 boop. My name's Eckhart. This is what I'm doing. Album's really good. I've applied to your program as an indie artist. Bang, here's my demo. Then I walked away from that and I had the opposite problem. I was like, oh shit. I can't just like go up to like the biggest dogs in Australian music and just like hand them a demo. Like I can on some like Kanye West shit, but if I actually want to think about like what I'm doing here, then I need to remember that these relationships matter as well. So then I had the opposite problem, right? I'd been like, oh, that was all kind of me just like throwing a rock at the wind and hoping something will happen, as opposed to just showing up as me and trusting that I'll get another opportunity. So then I was like, all right, cool. I've had my two major interactions. I'm going to find myself in the middle. So then for the rest of the times that I found somebody that I thought could help me with my music, I tried my best to be somewhere in the middle of like human first, and then like being really clear about what I wanted and what I was there to offer, and handing them the demo. Met some really dope people. And then something came to me at the end of the trip when I was watching, can't remember who they were, but it was the thing I'd gone to Sydney to see. It was Jimmy Nice's performance. One day he was putting it on, and I was looking around, and there was all these fucking Sydney cats everywhere. I'm from Melbourne, and Sydney's a different kettle of fish. And I was looking around, I was like, but damn, there's like a girl over here. She's does the she's a radio person for Triple J hip hop show, and like just looking around, like there's the dude from One Day, but all these artists and industry. I was like, fuck, man. And what came to me was the reason that it was important for me to put human first in those pictures, and the reason that it was important for me to like be considerate in my approach to these people was because I'm going to be here for a long time. And I had to tell myself that. So I looked at people like Ego, you know, who runs again the hip hop show in Triple J, like, and think, all right, cool, I'm gonna be here for a long time. Like, this person is gonna know me. It might be now, might be in 2 weeks, might be in a month, might be in a year, but this person is gonna know me, and once they know me, they're only gonna know more of me and more of me and more of me. As for everyone else in this room, so like, how do I want to be thought of and remembered and considered? And like, sure enough, I got a chance to go say what's up to her and like do networking and things like that. But like, that was what helped me in those moments, was to remember like, this isn't a piss in the wind. You know, this isn't like my one shot at grabbing for this ball. It's like, nah, I deserve to be here. I'm going to be here again and again and again and again. So there's people I'm eager to meet, and I'm going to meet them. I'm going to take the opportunities, but I'm also going to remember that, you know, these people are going to hear my name again in a certain amount of time. And I want them to think of me in a high regard when they do that. So that was a major learning I had from South by. And for me, like, coming back from that and then being transported back into like all the other fucking, you know, job, make money, do things, blah, 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 was really difficult for me. So like, there was a part of me that longed just to have that simplicity back again. And I lost like 3 kilos, you know what I mean? Like, I went to go see my gym mates and like, you know, they're moving all these plates and I'm just like, fuck, you know. But there's something that's beautiful, I think, about sitting at the altar of your craft and just accepting that. Like, I probably walked 15,000, 20,000 steps a day. I ate 1 meal a day. You know, I only bought things if I was like buying a drink for another person or whatever. So anyway, that was what it was like to do South by myself. And today I actually had a meeting with someone from the film industry who had a film that was playing there, and they might be doing a short film for the album, which is cool as fuck. So bless.